Hi, everybody. The Green Bay Packers dominate the Arizona Cardinals, winning 34-13. An absolutely solid, complimentary football. Solid win for the Packers today. As we start with Jordan Love, who really shined today. He threw for 22 of 32, 258 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 pick. And that 1 pick, I'm not really going to say is his fault. Bull Mountain kind of slipped, and then the ball just kind of followed its trajectory, and the Cardinals defender went right in there and grabbed it. So I'm not necessarily blaming Jordan Love. I'm not necessarily blaming Bull Mountain for that either. It kind of just, the field was slick. Jordan Love's 4 touchdown passes is the first time a Green Bay Packer quarterback has thrown for 4 touchdowns in consecutive home games at Lambeau since Brett Favre in 1995. So that's a pretty good stat that Jordan's got going on. Also, Jordan Love now has 12 touchdown passes on the season. That's second in the league, and he missed 2 games. So I think Jordan's doing pretty well. He looked pretty comfortable all day. He had some pressure here and there, but overall the O-line did a very good job of protecting Jordan Love today. If we go to receiving. The receiving game was good. Jordan spread out the ball very well. We'll go a couple highlights. Christian Watson, 3 receptions, 68 yards and a touchdown. And then Jaden Reed, 6 receptions for 28 yards and a touchdown. And then the big, most important thing, Romeo Doubs, 3 receptions, 49 yards and 2 touchdowns in his first game back after his 1-week suspension last week. I thought it was very important to get Romeo involved, and it was very cool to see him get his first touchdown in the entire offense, coming to embrace him and hug him in the end zone. That was really cool to see. I'm glad Romeo's back. The Packers definitely missed him in the offense. Dontavian Wicks did end up getting hurt. I don't know the severity of that yet. I believe it was maybe it may have been a shoulder. I'm not entirely certain. But he did get hurt. That's something to monitor for next week. The Packers on the ground did fairly well. They had 179 rushing yards in total. Josh Jacobs ran the ball 18 times for 62 yards. And then Emmanuel Wilson ran the ball for seven times for 54 yards. So Emmanuel Wilson really being able to get around, especially at the end of the game, when they're trying to burn some clock out, really doing a good job of extending those drives, hitting those big first downs. Jordan did the same thing on his feet a couple of times today, was able to use his legs and really pick up a couple first downs in some much needed time. If we look at the defense was stellar today. No interceptions, unfortunately, for Xavier McKinney, so that streak ends at 5 games, but he was still a ball hawk today. Good coverage for him today, so not bashing him at all. But the Packers did have 3 fumbles, 2 they forced. Evan Williams, who's continuing every week to get better and better and is really making his mark on this defense, he punched the ball out, and Carl Brooks punched the ball out, and Carl Brooks also had a fumble recovery. John Money had a fumble recovery, and so did Kenny Clark. So these fumbles were in pivotal points of the game that really could have swung it for the Cardinals, and then some of these drives, and the Packers were able to get the ball out. The last fumble was kind of near the end of the game. Seemed to be a little misread or something for Kyler Murray, and he fumbled. But we'll get to the Cardinals in a second. The last thing I kind of want to highlight is Brandon Narvson, who continues to seem to struggle when it comes to more of the longer distance. He was 2 of 3 today, but he did miss a 41-yarder that kind of, in my opinion, could have kind of sealed the game a little bit earlier. But it just seems that the Packers continue to kind of struggle to be able to find a consistent kicker. Sorry, I'm recovering from a cold. My voice is a little trying to wait for my voice to come back, but he was 4 for 4 on extra points, so that's a positive. but the distance is he's kind of still struggling a little bit. I don't expect the Packers to go out and get anybody, although bringing in competition I do see is quite possible. But right now, I really don't think that they're going to bring in somebody to replace Narvson right now. Matt LaFleur continues to say that he has full confidence in him. Where this confidence is coming from, I have no idea. I wish I had that confidence in him because I don't. We'll get to the Cardinals. The Cardinals really shot themselves in the foot a lot today. They had 13 penalties for 100 yards of penalties. Like, that's insane. I think they averaged like 3.2 or 3.8 coming into Lambeau this week, and they got 13 penalties for 100 yards. That's not good. That just shows that they're very undisciplined, and that really hurt them in the long run in a lot of spots today. We'll get to some of their players here. Kyler Murray, the Packers defense did a very good job keeping him in check. He was 22 of 32, 214 yards and 1 touchdown pass. But I think the most important thing for the Packers defense is they held Kyler Murray to only 14 rushing yards. Only 14. That's very good. Kyler Murray's a very, very dangerous quarterback. Overall, the Packers held the Cardinals to 89 rushing yards in total. And that's spectacular, especially for a Packers defense who has really been struggling all season with their rushing defense. Like I said, Kyler Murray only had 14 yards, and James Conner didn't really do much either. So the rushing defense for the Packers excelled today. They were very, very good. When it comes to the receiving, McBride was the leading receiver for the Cardinals. He had 8 receptions for 96 yards. A big thing also for the Cardinals is that Marvin Harrison Jr. left early. I believe it was the first quarter with a concussion. So hopefully he's okay. And so he was a non-factor. So that was a player the Packers didn't have to deal with. So that obviously helped the Packers out in a lot of spots. Because having him on the field, he's dangerous. Overall, the Packers, like I said earlier, very complimentary football, a full team win today. They did a very, very good job on all sides of the ball. Special teams, especially Keyshawn Nixon had his longest punt return. He stepped in when Jaden Reed got his ankle twisted up a little bit. But kick returns, they're still not kicking to him. Everyone's afraid to kick to Keyshawn. I get it. He's very, very dangerous. But overall, I don't want to ramble too much. Overall, the Packers with a very solid win today. And a lot of people could say that this was kind of an easy win. The Cardinals aren't a very good football team. But this is a Cardinals team that came back from 20-plus down against the 49ers. And they also put up 40, 41, 42 points on the LA Rams. So this is a Cardinals team that is super dangerous and can be very good. And today the Packers just got the complete best of them. There was no stress. It was a nice stress-free game of football. It was really nice. So, but there are some things to work on, as there always is. So, a lot to look forward to. A lot to work on. A lot to be happy and proud about. As the Packers will have a much more difficult opponent coming into Lambeau next week. The Houston Texans were 5-1, coming off a 41-21 victory over the New England Patriots. And the Houston Texans have had a couple games already this season where they've kind of been exposed a little bit. So they're going to run without Nico Collins isn't playing. But C.J. Stroud is very, very good. Their defense is very, very good. Joe Mixon is looking good again. So this is going to be a bigger test for the Green Bay Packers as they welcome a very good Houston Texans team into Lambeau Field. It's going to be at noon. It should be prime time, in my opinion. The fact that this game is going to be at noon and not prime time is is just a joke. This should be a primetime game because this, as I said, or didn't say, but as I did predict earlier this year, Packers-Texans Super Bowl. So this could be a Super Bowl preview. But who knows? It's also a winter warning next week in Lambeau. The all whites, the white helmets, all white jerseys, all white pants. So that'll be exciting to watch. Should be a good game next week. But as we can focus and celebrate right now, the Green Bay Packers get a very good, solid win against the Arizona Cardinals. So, as always, thanks for watching, and go Pack Go.